So we're calling this meeting to order. Attendance.
James?
Present.
Here.
Here. We now have public comment. No comment card, so we're going to move on and adjourn to closed session. For closed session, Ms. Ford?
This is not for closed session. 13.4. No. If it's not on the closed session agenda,
It's not on the agenda for closed session, so we can't discuss it. That's what she's talking about.
on the, that will be, your comment will be heard at the, when we open up the. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's for the consent agenda, which is public item. Thank you. No, you put the right number on it. That's how I knew. You have the right item.
We are adjourning the closed session.
Tiffany, I think you win. Like 6:38.
Might be having.
I'm going to adjourn the meeting back to order. We are reconvening 5.1 to public session. Attendance.
Student trustee Rivera.
Here.
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 Adams.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Yep.
We'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Adams, will you lead us?
Will you all please rise, face the flag, put your hand over your heart and recite with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We are now doing the approval of the meeting agenda.
So move.
Barb, could you please take the roll? Oh, I'm sorry.
We're going to do a call for the vote. Student trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Approve.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Adams, trustee Harvey.
Yes. Thank you so much. 9.1 is our report of closed session. So 4.1 was conference with labor negotiator, Dr. Jennifer Zealot and Dr. Lauren Hellsberg, Government Code Section 54957.6. There is no report. 4.2, pending litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, the per case number LA-CE-6549-E and file number 202-402-03001. There was a vote. The motion was made by Mr. Adams. It was second by Ms. Gaines. There was a 5-0 vote and the board rejects this claim. 4.3, conference with legal counsel. There is no report. And 4.4, there was a vote. 4.4 is consideration of public employee discipline, dismissal, release of employee number 23-24/E-003 and 23-24/E-005 pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. A motion was made by Barbara Gaines. It was seconded by Mr. Adams. There was a 4-1 vote. The board approved to not renew the contract of a classified administrator, employee number 23-24/E-005. The vote, yes from me, yes from Michael Adams, Steve Buffalo, and Barbara Gaines, with a no vote from Michael Reeves. So we are at 10.1, public comment announcement. Pursuant to board policy number 2350, public comment may be limited to 3 minutes per person. All speakers who would like to comment regarding the matter on the agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or the recording secretary before the point in the meeting at which the agenda item is called. Public comment cards are available at the information table in the middle of the theater, from the recording secretary, or online. Right. So weird. Yes, so I'm going to call those for public comment. Tamara Palmetto.
Good evening. Hello, President-elect, members of the board. Which one am I doing? Am I doing the EdgeNav update for you folks or the reorg? They're both here. Okay, so what would you like to hear first? I don't know. EdgeNav update. Okay, here we go. So I know that I have promised to bring you guys updates here and there about the progress of EdgeNav. You had approved a 1-year contract for the program while we try to figure it out with counseling. And we have been diligently working this problem with EdgeNav. They have been actually pretty good at working with us. We meet weekly. Our dean has been incredibly supportive. Whatever we need, we get. If we need time, if we need training, she makes that available for us. And we are in the the throes of tickets. Okay, so the program is still limited in a number of ways. We still don't have upfront evaluation of outside transcripts and AP credit. And what this means is that students that have this type of credit, they're being told to take classes they most likely have already completed, right? So if I completed English by AP, the system doesn't see that because we don't have upfront evaluation. It will tell them to take English 101. The program will also have very specific courses. It actually has the entire semester loaded with specific sections, with specific instructors and courses. And so it's in such a way that a lot of times students will not realize they have a choice. And so they will just automatically register for those classes. And it's not until they come and check in with counseling and go, why are you registered for those classes? And they say, well, because I was told to. And so they'll show us the plan. And that's when we realize that there's a problem because they have outside transcripts or some other issue. I've been told that we do have a demo of brainware coming and that we are trying to work the upfront transcript evaluation process, but that is still not in place. We are still waiting for a degree auditing program, which EduNav needs to feed it. So we're waiting for a demo from DegreeWorks, which I think I talked with you folks about the first time I had an update, or Starfish. I understand that that is in process. I don't know why it's taking so long, but it is taking a while and it's in process. And I know that our IT exec has that request. I'm not sure when we'll get it, but hopefully soon. All right. The lack of the 2-year schedule is also a little bit of an issue because the first thing we have to do is really build the program, right? So get the classes in, how the classes are supposed to be used. And that includes courses that are used from outside, transcripts and AP credit. If a student got an AP score of 4 on an English Lit, AP exam, our system will give them credit for English 101 and 102, right? EduNav is just a program. It's going to look at English 102 and put it into critical thinking for a student that has an associate degree for transfer. It doesn't know any better. So the first thing we have to do is we have to build out the program and then we have to build out the SMART rules. We aren't even anywhere near building out the SMART rules that need to support the program and tell students to take the correct courses. So hiring someone full-time, we have a scribe that we have paid for EduNav, which is a little tricky because they don't really work with us, even though we meet with them weekly. They're not familiar with our catalog or our program. We have Michelle Lathrop, who moved on. She worked with the program exclusively. Am I out of time already?
Out of time.
Okay. We need somebody. We need a person. All right. There are many more issues. I will bring you more updates. Okay. Working on that. The reorg. So I wanted to start by thanking President Zillette for soliciting feedback for the reorganization. I did complete the survey. I will admit I was myopic at the time and focused on my area. And since then, I have had an opportunity to speak with lots of different people from different areas. And I just wanted to bring those concerns to you as well, because I can't go back into the survey. I tried. Okay, so first thing, OSD in the reorg is removed from general counseling. I know that President Zillette made a presentation in the Academic Senate, and she did express that that would likely not be in the final reorganization. Just want to say I hope the likely is moved to an absolute yes, because the counselors in OSD perform all the same counseling functions as every other counselor. We do transcript evaluation, we do educational planning, course advisement, ed plans, all of that, prereq challenges. And being connected to counseling is imperative. We were removed once before and we lacked vital knowledge and information as it was coming, and we weren't able to serve our students to the best of our ability. So that's number one. The combination of the CalWorks and STAR Director positions, I'm just a little concerned that we just got those positions hired and those programs are finally growing again. And we have students that are being served by those programs. And then we're going to collapse a federal program and a state program into one program. And I believe the STAR Director is allowed to oversee another program, but with permission. So it can get, I don't even know if we have that, but it seems like somebody's going to get moved out of a job. And I know nobody's going to lose their employment, but I don't know what job they're going to go to, but somebody's going to lose a job. And I don't know what the impact for the students who need the program will be. CalWorks was down to a very low number. We were without directors across the categorical programs for a while. And now they're finally starting to grow again. And we're starting to see some movement. And those students need those services. It's very important. The Director of Dual Enrollment combined with outreach. I'm really concerned because we advertised a position for dual enrollment, a director. We interviewed people. We offered employment to someone and that person accepted. And now the reorg is combining the Director of Dual Enrollment with outreach. And outreach was last overseen by an associate dean and was paid at the level of an associate dean. And I am not sure if the person who was hired as the Director of Dual Enrollment has been consulted. I hope so. In terms of having that, I would imagine so. I hope so. This position consolidated with outreach, what that means for them. And I would hope that the pay would be equal to the job, right? Outreach is huge. We have had a lack of staff in that area. I work with the bridge counselors, and getting programs to the high schools has been difficult. We've had to cancel things the day of, or we haven't had people to do what we need, and it's a big job, and it needs a lot of people, and it needs a lot of time from whoever's overseeing outreach. And outreach was already consolidated with the Welcome Center. So now we have got the Welcome Center outreach and the director of dual enrollment. So those are my concerns, and thank you for listening, and thank you for keeping time.
Thank
Madam-
you.
Madam President, may I ask a couple of questions?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, I'm here.
Okay, let's start with EduNav.
Yes.
And I know it hasn't been that long since you
October.
presented October.
I believe it was October.
Okay.
board meeting.
So we're in February, not that long
Not
when
long.
you're working with a program such as this.
Absolutely.
But I have to ask, is it getting any better?
So this is the thing. It's kind of like the sink is overflowing and counseling is trying to bail out the sink that's overflowing, but the clogs are coming from other areas, right? So until we have the people to do what needs and the processes to do what needs to happen, this program we're always going to be like, duct tape and bubble gum. It's always going to be, we're one step behind. We have to have upfront evaluation of transcripts. We have to have that in place, and we have to have a dedicated person that is balancing between counseling and curriculum, that can keep up to date with what's happening in APMP, make changes that are necessary in real time, can scribe the catalog as it comes out each year. We have to have people to do this, and we have to have processes in place to do this. I mean, yes, EduNav has been incredibly receptive. They're doing what they can for us. We have lots of meetings. I'm in 2 meetings a week. I believe our VP is in more. I think our dean is even in more. So we have a lot of manpower and hours going to try to solve this problem. And yes, it can get better, but right now it's very disjointed with how we are doing the scribing. Yes.
So follow up to that is what they can. I hear you talking about what they can, but is what they can ever going to be enough? Because I know we talked about waiting, I believe it was a year, if my memory serves me right, to give this program time to really reach its full potential. My biggest fear is that the year is going to come and we're still
Here.
really disgusted with EduNav and wasted a year. So I'm just, will it ever really be able to reach the potential that you need it to be?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, we have to get a degree audit system in place. That really needs to happen like yesterday. And we need the support staff to get that in place. And we need to do it right the first time, which means upfront evaluation. We have to have the courses loaded in. We got to get Shitator cleaned up, which is in Banner. There are a lot of things that need to happen and a lot of hours that need to go into that. If those things can happen, I would imagine EduNav could be a good tool, but we've also got to think about, counseling gives feedback, right? So we have asked, can we turn off the planning function for students who indicate they have AP credit or outside transcripts? And we've been told, no, the planning function needs to stay on. In counseling, we know that it's going to tell them to take classes that they've already taken. And if the program was just a registration only and then directed the students back to counseling so that we could evaluate the transcripts and tell them the correct courses, that would be a step in the right direction. So it's about cooperation too, in terms of, we all want to make sure the students are taking the right classes. And the way that we're doing it right now, I mean, there's ghosts in the system, right? Like Automotive 110 popped up in the all automotive, and it's been in there hanging out for, all the plans for all automotive students. And it's because of a glitch with Banner that we just realized the class was left in as a prereq that wasn't supposed to be. It was cleaned up in the catalog, but not in Banner. We have to have people going through these systems. We have to have the tech support and the scribing support to go through these systems and cross-check all this stuff. And otherwise, students are going to keep getting these results. Like Biology 104 is a 3-unit, life science class that the program there was a mess up in the scribing, and it wasn't even the scribe's fault. It's just the email chain is too convoluted, but it was giving students credit for a life science lab as well as a lecture for associate degrees for transfer. That's a huge problem because the student suddenly thinks they don't need the lab requirement. They think it's satisfied, and they're not going to find out until they apply for graduation. And then they go, oh, well, oops, or hopefully they come and talk to a counselor. So there are issues.
Madam President, I have one more, if you'll indulge me, one more question. I'd like to move on to the dual enrollment and the outreach. Thank you. Many of your local high schools are trying desperately to move from a concurrent enrollment into a dual enrollment. We desperately need the dual enrollment person there to be able to work with us and make sure that if we're telling our high school students that in 4 years, if you can start and you can graduate high school with an AA degree, we need to have these classes offered, and we don't want to do it at night necessarily or in the evening. We want to be able to do it dual enrollment. And so I'm very concerned about someone playing in a dual position, pardon the pun, and perhaps the dual enrollment piece will be the neglected piece there.
Well, outreach is going to suck up most of the oxygen, I would imagine. I mean, if you think about how much work, I don't know if anybody did an exit interview with Kenya Johnson, I would hope so, but the amount of work and the challenges she even had with staffing, I mean, it takes a lot of.
Thank you.
I have a question. There are 116 colleges, community colleges in California, 73 districts. Are we using anyone's model on our program? You want to be like this college? Is there anybody you're using as a model out of all those colleges?
Are we talking about EduNav or are we talking about the reorg? Scheduling.
Yeah.
We actually just had an amazing visit with a peer review team for Guided Pathways, Go Guided Pathways. You guys should definitely get the co-chairs here to tell you all about it because they're doing amazing things. And yes, so we had from our peer review team, they showed us some models that we could look at that are great, where they have an online catalog. They have a 2-year schedule that is done almost like a PD. It's like, I can't explain it. It's not like what we have. And it's loaded right with the catalog and Program Mapper, which we are also trying to get Program Mapper rolling. It's free. It's a visual aid for students. And it could actually be like our recommended program sheets where it's like a visually everything they need to take. It's beautiful. And you should definitely have them here for a demonstration.
But
we're working on it.
Sir,
program,
I could address your question. In all of these areas where we've done some proposed draft reorgs and those kinds of things, there are colleges out there who are modeling the very thing. We're not stepping out into uncharted territory with any of these proposals.
okay. Any of the scheduling, does it prevent duplication? Like you have a major, does it prevent you from going outside your major and taking classes that you don't really need to take?
Okay, so that's okay. I think I understand what you're saying. We don't have a restrictive anybody, because we're a community college, any student can enroll for any course that they're eligible to take. And we have students that will switch majors and they start taking courses in that major before they before they go through the actual process of changing their major. And that's usually how they figure out they want to change their major, because they take that other class. But the goal is, yes, meeting with counseling. That's the thing. We have recommended plans. We have recommended, we're going to start calling them hopefully pathways that are in the catalog that we have with counseling that show students exactly what they need start to finish. Program Mapper would be amazing. It is a visual representation of that. Again, it's free. They're figuring out how to pull it right straight from eLumen, so it's not even going to be that hard. So yes, things like this, whatever, it's information, right? Students need information, and having the most accurate information is key. And EduNav, the biggest problem is garbage in, garbage out, right? We don't have the things that it needs to give the students always the correct information or the best pathway to finish. So, counseling is important.
Thank you very much.
Our next public comment,
Thank you,
Hal
folks.
Huntsman.
Good evening. I'm here to represent the non-counseling faculty perspective on EduNav. As you can see, I don't need to represent the counseling perspective because it's well represented already. In many ways, the rest of us are really catching up to the counselors, and they would say, wow, you finally got the idea. So here's some of the concerns that some of the faculty are bringing to me. At this point, it appears to us, it's always hard to know for sure, but the way it looks is that EduNav is the primary tool that students are interacting with the schedule. And as a result, there's information that we actually put in our online schedule, which the students don't see, or they don't see it as in the same way that we think they're going to see it. Those could be things like the modality that the class is taught in, what campus the class is at, things like how is the section being chosen. So the student gets a plan and it gets put in each recommended course, which comes from a recommended plan of study, which is vetted by the faculty. But how is the particular section at that particular time chosen for those students? The student doesn't look at the list. It's actually said, hey, take this one. Well, the student sees that and says, well, somebody recommended that for me. But it's not at all clear how that section is chosen. In other words, there is no human that's choosing that time and that section for that student. It's an algorithm of some kind, and we don't know how that is happening. Somebody probably does know, but we have no idea. And we have concerns here about both student success and about enrollment, because if particular sections are being chosen and others not, and a student doesn't even know that the other one exists, then that means they're not taking that section. There could also be missing information like when there are in a partially online modality, there are specific dates that you might be required to be on campus for that class. It's not clear to us that that information is in EduNav. It is in the online schedule, but it is not necessarily in EduNav. So we are beginning to see lots of potential issues. They may be fixable, I don't know, but we're concerned that this is being missed. And for me, one of the fundamental things here is that because we're not having a human being interact there, there's no human that's saying that, there's oftentimes moments where, what's really going on there behind the scenes? There's a little black box in essence that's happening there, and it makes us very concerned. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We now have Tyron Sanders.
Hello, you guys. I wanted to speak on the harsh conditions that student athletes occurred this year, and I'm going to speak about the football program and how 2022 players weren't getting team meals, and I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so nervous. Okay, so
It's okay. Just take your time.
2022 players weren't getting team meals, and it made me feel like they weren't getting their needs met. And because they were staying in hotels, I don't know why the coach were treating them so odd that like he didn't care. So basically the coach would treat the certain players in a way like they didn't have a voice and they couldn't voice their opinions. I incurred that we ran out of football helmets, and I played a season that gear that basically the gear that we had, it didn't fit us. And basically I had to play a season with small gear. I'm so nervous, guys. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, so Coach J, I don't know if he cared or not because we went 1-9 and the needs weren't being met. I don't know if money was involved or anything was involved, but our needs weren't getting met at all. And I wanted to speak about Umoja, particularly a woman, Miss Gabby. I used to work for I used to work for Umoja. Miss Gabby would treat student workers like slaves and make them push carts and stuff. So I know I gathered 13 students to report her to Dean Wiley, and I have this on report. The way she treated African Americans was inappropriate. I know that African American students are in an equity gap, and I know that like it's a reason why they have these programs for these students. They need these programs to be successful to meet their needs. I know that players on the football team don't even know to take English 101, English 102. They don't even know those things to do because the coach don't advise them to take these things. So I feel like the students' needs are not getting met at all. So that's all I have to.
Thank you for your comment. The next card is Bridget S. Bridget? Hi.
I'm also quite nervous, but that being said, I am here regarding of the Learning Center and the issues that I have been seeing with other students, tutors, group tutors, which before was SI, and also, I believe, front desk. There has been a few issues that have been arise, which my coworker Ethan will further communicate that. But I just wanted to appreciate the opportunity to have a safe space to talk about these concerns. The Learning Center, unfortunately, personally to me, has taken that. And more than 20% of the tutors also feel that we do not have a safe space. Unfortunately, a lot of them has been threatened by the removal of hours, has been threatened to be fired, or has seen people in front of them humiliated with the removal of hours and with termination. And it just arises the question, is this an environment we aspire to cultivate in our learning center, one that many potentially cause mental distress and fear among students who take pride as tutors? I've spoken once more to several colleagues who have shared similar experiences and have hesitated to speak out. Many of them couldn't appear to you guys today due to classes, courses, labs, and due to living situations. A lot of them live in Roseman, California City, and other. I genuinely appreciate the students who seek help from us. Now as tutors, we find ourselves in a position where we too seek support. Once more, serving students, serve students, be kind. And we have not seen that in any way, shape, or form from our supervisors. Once more, I appreciate the time that you have given me. And I appreciate the fact that you have given me and my colleagues a safe space to speak about my concerns. Thank you.
Welcome. Next is Ethan A.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Dear Boards of Trustees, as a dedicated student worker and tutor at our Learning Center, under the direction of Miss Ashley Hawkins, I was compelled to express concerns that significantly affect our team's morale and effectiveness. These concerns have led to confusion about our roles, compromised due process, and diminished treatment, creating considerable unease among the staff. On February 5th, Ms. Hawkins shockingly stated, quote, tutors and desk assistants have no job descriptions, claiming this was, quote, intentional. This contradicts our student worker booklet, which mandates clear job descriptions, equitable treatment. Furthermore, the assignments of tasks beyond our traditional duties, inconsistent with our training, and the absence of a tutor handbook has left us without essential guidance. My efforts to address these concerns with Ms. Hawkins were met with further complications. Instead of addressing the issues, she twice directed me to consult with Dean Riley, a decision that seems to be a deliberate misdirection. This is troubling given Dean Riley's previous harassment of student workers and is no longer being affiliated with the college. Such guidance disregarded my well-being, knowing that any effort and that any engagement with Dean Riley would be fraught with discomfort. Only after seeking help elsewhere was I directed to VP Kathy McKeep for support. As a result of exercising my rights, I was terminated as a tutor by Ms. Hawkins without due process this very afternoon, without reason, confirming my concerns about retaliation. Despite over a year of service as a STEM tutor, where I received high marks, positive feedback without any complaints, this abrupt decision lacks transparency and fairness. Additionally, the fallout from Ms. Hawkins' actions has been severe to tutors alike, including ostracization, increased surveillance, concerns about confidentiality and security of our communications, verbal reprimands for raising issues, peers reductions of hours without protocol, hampering open dialogue among tutors and desk assistants, and termination. Therefore, I urge the board to 1, clarify job descriptions and expedite the completion of a tutor worker handbook. 2, review management practices for fairness and transparency. 3, establish protocols for voicing concerns without fear of retaliation. And 4, ensure management alignment with our student workers booklet. And 5th, restatement of my role as a tutor for lack of due process, retaliation, and wrongful termination for exercising my rights. As a 4.0 GPA biology major and aspired physician assistant, I'm deeply passionate about my role as a STEM tutor. However, the current work environment has forced me to question the sustainability of continuing under these conditions. My commitment to excellence and growth is unwavering, but it's crucial that our environment supports these goals. Otherwise, AVC may no longer be a viable place for me or many of my colleagues. Considering President Zella's motto of, quote, serve students, be kind, it seems this ideal is out of reach. So why don't we start with being professional? We look to the board to champion a supportive environment where student workers are valued and respected. Thank you for considering our needs for positive change. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Casey.
Hi.
Hi,
I'm also very nervous.
it's okay.
Hi, although I'm a tutor at the Learning Center, although I have not been in the position of this mistreatment, I have seen the mistreatment of my colleagues and other tutors. Basically, the walking around of threatening of cutting hours have led me to feel not a safe place in the Learning Center. It's been, sorry,
Take your time, it's okay.
the mistreatment of the fellow tutors, and they've been threatening the hours along with us tutors as well as two T's around the room, which is not very confidential, as you know, very threatening and not a safe place for us. Even the front desk assistants do not feel as safe or talking with our supervisors as normal. Yeah, I'm gonna, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And if we could just take a little second here. I didn't ask questions, but I would like for all of the students and tutors who have come up today to know that the board appreciates your active participation in this process. It's important for young people to be involved and to have a voice, and I believe that. So thank you all. Next, we have Manolo. Hi, Manolo.
Hello, everyone. So I am a new tutor at the Learning Center. I got hired about 3 weeks ago, and I don't have an experience to talk about, but I have seen the tutors at the Learning Center being um, treated as how they have described. And I also fear that if I have to voice my opinion, I shouldn't be scared of retaliation or or my position revoked for me. I like tutoring. I haven't, this is my first time actually tutoring, as a job, but I always love helping other people. And it would be a shame to have my position removed. Just speaking up about what I believe is right. We're speaking up for the rest of the tutors as they collectively believe this, what's being said. With that being said, I am in support of everything that the tutors and Ethan and Bridget have said. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Jason Bowen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, President Zalet, General Counsel, Ms. Bridget Cook, Ms. McClure. I'd like to address as I usually do from time to time, which is administrative leave. We still have a faculty member who's out on administrative leave who's been put out since beginning of fall. The decision to place a faculty member on administrative leave is without doubt a serious one, meriting careful consideration of the circumstances. Traditionally, such a measure is reserved for cases where there's a clear risk to the safety and integrity of our learning environment. However, a current case prompts me to reflect whether our current approach aligns with those principles. The prolonged administrative leave based solely on allegations without immediate evidence of harm raises significant concerns. First and foremost, it challenges our commitment to fairness and due process. It's imperative that our procedures not only protect those who may be vulnerable, but also ensure that those accused are treated with the presumption of innocence until proven otherwise. Moreover, the financial implications of this practice cannot be ignored. The cost of maintaining a faculty member on administrative leave for an extended period of time places a burden on our taxpayers and institutional resources that could otherwise be directed towards educational programs, student support services, and faculty development. The situation also has a tangible impact on our academic community. It disrupts the continuity of education for our students and places additional strains on our faculty who must adapt to cover the gap left by an absent colleague. The resultant effect is the dilution of the quality of the education we pride ourselves on providing. In highlighting these concerns, my aim is not to undermine the importance of addressing allegations of misconduct. Rather, it is to call for a more balanced and expedient approach to such matters, an approach that assures the rights and dignity of all parties are respected, that decisions are made based on solid evidence, and that the well-being of our entire educational community is considered. Serve students, be kind. As we move forward, I encourage the board to engage in a dialogue about how we can improve our policies and practices around administrative leave. Let us work together, I ask, to find solutions to uphold our values of fairness, integrity, and respect for every member of our community. Thank you for your time and for listening to me this evening.
Thank you. Next, we have Kathy Osborne. Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay. As you're aware, our fall 2023 term ended on December 2nd. On December 20th, I received a call from my department chair informing me that he had been instructed to cancel 2 of my fully enrolled online courses. I, of course, assumed he was mistaken. Why would we cancel fully enrolled courses? And I asked him to check and confirm the information. He assured me that he had already asked for clarification, and he was absolutely certain he because they were also going to cancel 2 of his fully enrolled online courses. The reason he was given was that the requirement to teach no more than 50% of our load via distance education. There is no AP, BP, nor section of the CBA that contains this so-called 50% load rule. In fact, it is the union's opinion it's a direct violation of the CBA. Furthermore, canceling fully enrolled classes on December 20th violates multiple sections of the CBA. They, of course, contacted Dr. Bowen, who addressed administration, and clearly demonstrated that to cancel full courses on December 20th violates the CBA, and administration did have to stand down. Board of Trustees, your goals for 2024 clearly state increase online course offerings and increase enrollment. How does canceling 4 fully enrolled courses help to reach your goal? How does canceling 4 fully enrolled courses serve students? The fact that both faculty members who were threatened with course cancellations are union executive officers did not go without notice. We respectfully request the Board of Trustees inquire into the situation that's happening with proposing to cancel fully enrolled courses. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 11 as student recognition that has been moved to the March meeting. So we're moving to 12, presentation 12.1, 22, 23 district, Measure AV and OPEB audit report. Yes.
I'd like to get a follow-up to what the students were talking about. Okay.
Absolutely. And I also would like to publicly note that students were talking about personnel matters, which will not be addressed in public.
Now we are to the audit report. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your patience.
Absolutely. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent President. Very pleased to be here on behalf of our firm CWDL to speak to the results of the audits for fiscal 23. I think there's a presentation that'll come up perfect. Are all the members of the board able to see that on your screens? Beautiful. I'll speak to that audit in just a moment. I just want to, oh yes. Oh, terrific. Awesome, thank you. I just want to give a little context to the year. It was a bit of an exciting year for us CPAs. There was a new implementation of GASB, a national pronouncement, GASB 96, alongside a standard deadline, December 31st, typical deadline. And we do note that the district is in full timely implementation of that standard in the current year and was able to submit all required reports by the Chancellor's Office and other applicable state deadlines on time, which required providing us everything that we needed to do our job, both in the interim and year-end fieldwork timeframes on time. So I want to extend our appreciation to staff for working with us throughout the year. That's particularly in reference to fiscal services under the leadership of Mr. Shami Brar and internal auditor Wendy Dumas, but also extending beyond fiscal into other departments, particularly with respect to our state and federal testing. We bother a lot of different people on campus obtaining our requests that we need to be able to do our job, and staff is tremendously helpful at this district in enabling us to do that in a timely fashion. Diving right into this presentation, going to cover, let's see if I've got this right. Try the other side. Not sure if the arrows are advancing it, but I can also say when to advance. Perfect. So that table of contents just gives an overview of the things that this will touch on, and I'll keep it at a pretty high level. But if any members of the board would like to dive into any questions, don't hesitate to stop me at any moment. The audit requirement comes both from law as well as from board policy. And the audit scope is broad. So the audits cover the district audit report, which itself contains 4 auditors' reports within that document. Measure AV consists of 3 auditors' reports. And then the OPEB bond, which has 2 auditors' reports. All 3 of these documents start with our independent auditors' report. And I'm very pleased to present to the board that for fiscal 23, we are able to render an unmodified opinion across all 3 scopes. That is the highest quality opinion that an auditor is able to provide, and is to say, based upon the results of our testing, these three audits, the district audit, Measure AV bond audit, OPEB trust audit, can absolutely be relied upon by this board, the district, and all of the district stakeholders. Moving past that independent auditor's report, in the district audit, there's a number of sections to follow. It's a very large document. Management's discussion and analysis, immediately following that first report, is going to provide year-over-year analytical information, comparing and providing commentary on various balances presented within the core financials. Following MD&A, the basic financial statements, the core financial statements, are those key documents that we are performing our procedures over. Moving past the core financials, the remaining financials contain the remainder of that large document. The notes to the financials providing additional detail on the balances contained within the core, the required supplementary and supplementary information section presenting schedules as required by state and federal, and then the other independent auditors reports providing those additional auditors reports focusing on additional areas of testing. So for instance, in the district audit report, we have our testing over controls and controls over compliance, testing over federal compliance, and then our testing over state compliance. And we actually have that summarized on the very next slide in very small font, my apologies. So what we can see there just barely is at the top of that section, our testing over the financial statements, and that's going to consist of what we call the Yellow Book report, which showcases our results of testing on internal controls and controls over compliance. Had we noted any exceptions to the district's control environment, that would be noted and identified in that section of the report. Pleased to indicate for fiscal 23, we note no exceptions to the district's control environment. Following the financial statement portion of the summary, federal awards, a very weighty section of testing, not only consisting of student financial aid cluster programs, but also federal HERF funds, higher education, CARES Act funds. Had we noted an exception to federal awards, that would be noted in the federal or the single audit portion of the report. We note no exceptions to federal compliance. Always a very good thing to see related to federal compliance. And finally, state awards. The broadest area of our testing. This is where we respond to those required procedures outlined by the Chancellor's Office, enumerated in a long list of procedures that are actually detailed out in the report itself. Had any procedure within that required list be noted as an exception, we would be required to bring that to this board's attention in this portion of the report and detail that further in findings and question costs. We note no such exceptions to state compliance. Furthermore, had any items been identified in the prior year as having been an exception in that year, we would provide a status update in the current year. But we note no exceptions in fiscal 22 in the prior year to the current fiscal 23 under audit. And so with that, I know that was at an incredibly high level. That is reflective of an entirely clean audit for fiscal 23, which is the very best result that can be generated through this process. I want to open for any questions any member of the board may have on that process or any aspect of those documents.
Yeah, I have a few questions.
Absolutely.
I glanced at, one of the handbooks, and it said we paid $9 million in property tax. I thought nonprofit organizations.
Speak into your microphone, please.
Yeah, I thought that the nonprofit, did not have to pay property taxes. Is that?
Just from my understanding, which of the reports are you looking at for that?
Yeah, I was looking at one of the books here, and it said that we paid $9 million in property.
Was that pertaining to the district audit, the Measure AV audits, the OPEB trust audit?
Well, I was just glancing at it, but the thing that interests me was the property taxes is it because we have outside property? Is that why we would pay property tax?
So in the district audit, the district is certainly a recipient of property tax funds, and that would be a revenue line item.
Right.
In the Measure AV audits, kind of likewise, the district receives the benefit of tax pulled off of the county tax rolls to repay investors of the Measure AV issued bond obligations. But in both of those situations, the district is not expending, but rather receiving those tax dollars. So I'd be happy to speak to if there is a particular line item. But
Right. Another thing, when I was going through this, said that this was the audit for 2022 to 23. Is that correct?
that is correct.
And I stopped, wait a minute, what year is this? It's 24. I mean, this was in June of last year, right?
That's exactly right.
So why is it so, why are you coming to us in February of the next year?
Totally fair question. So the audit report is related to closing out of the fiscal 23 year. So the snapshot year-end date of June 30, 23 is when the audit report is effective as of. But that year is going to take several months for the district's fiscal services department to actually close the books on that year.
Uh-huh.
And then the chancellor's office's requirement for the audit deadline is not actually until December 31st of that same year, December 31st of 23, when that audit is required to be submitted to the chancellor's office and to other state agencies. And at some point, it could possibly occur in December, January, February, even a later month is when the board is able to receive that, just depending on the board schedule. So if it would be the wish of the board to receive the results of the audit at a sooner time, it would certainly be possible to receive that as soon as December. But typically districts are receiving them kind of in that frame of December through March.
So you submit all these to the chancellor's office, all these reports?
The district report goes to the chancellor's office, the district audit.
Uh-huh.
And then at the district's discretion, the Measure AV reports and the OPEB trust report can also be submitted to the chancellor's office. But that is not a requirement. Those go to alternate agencies.
Do they acknowledge it and say they received it and say, you know, everything's cool and stuff like that? Or?
Yes, they do effectively acknowledge that. There's an upload protocol that they have. And through that, we obtain proof of submittal that the district is able to have as that proof to indicate it met the compliance requirement.
So if they have any questions, they go to you and say, you know, what's up, right?
Exactly right. Typically, they'd either come to us or the district's VP over administrative and business services, or possibly copy us both.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Of course.
Madam President, I have a question. Your audit covers our distribution of financial aid, am I correct?
Absolutely.
And you found no discrepancy in our distribution process of financial aid in 22-23?
That is correct. So that financial aid section, the federal section, indicates the student financial aid cluster as a major program that was subjected to testing during this year. And from that process, we identified from our sampling no reportable findings.
And just a follow-up, can you give me an idea of how big is your sampling?
Absolutely. So by program, what we'll typically do is obtain a complete population of all of the student financial aid disbursements for the year. And then we'll hit a sampling size to attain typically a 90 to a 95% confidence level. I believe for the current year, that was a standard sample size of 40 items accounting for up to 2 potential significant deficiencies or deviations within that. So we would start there, and had we noted an exception within that sample, we would typically expand from there. So let's say, for instance, there was a program, let's say Pell, where there was a disbursement that we noted where there was an exception to compliance. We would typically expand in that direction, additional selections from that program, and we would expand that sample from there. But in the current year under audit for fiscal 23, we identified no need to expand from that initial sample of 40 items.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course, my pleasure.
12.2 has been postponed. We have moved that to March. We are now at 12.3, the MOJA update.
All right. Good evening, members. Board of Trustees, Dr. Salem, Ms. Patty McClure, Ms. Bridget Cook, esteemed colleagues and guests. My name is Alberto Mendoza Gonzalez Larreinaga. As the interim director of equity at our college, I stand before you to highlight our collective efforts towards fostering an equitable environment where every student can thrive. Our journey towards this goal is paved with dedication, innovation, and collaboration. Central to our mission are impactful programs like the Puente program and Umoja. These programs not only provide essential resources and support, but also cultivate a sense of community and belonging among our students. This year's Black History Month commenced with an enlightening presentation by Dr. Andrew Jolivet. His talk illuminated the historic and contemporary connections among Afro-Indigenous, Black, American Indian, Afro-Latinx, Afro-Caribbean, and other Black Indigenous communities. Through his discourse, Dr. Jolivet explored how these communities navigate colonial trauma, soul loss, and violence, transforming these experiences into acts of radical love.
You have the clicker, so if you want to move forward, were you talking about the?
Oh, with these, thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
thank you.
Yes. So here then we highlight at the beginning of it with Dr. Andrew Jolivet. He explored how these communities navigate, again, colonial trauma, soul loss, and violence, transforming these experiences into acts of radical love and transformative justice. This event not only served as a powerful kickoff to our Black History Month celebrations, but also underscored our commitment to recognizing and honoring the diverse histories and contributions of all communities. This evening, you'll be hearing from Ms. Tiffany Sasueta about the exceptional work she and our team have accomplished in organizing Black History Month events. These events are not just a celebration of history, they're a testament to our commitment to diversity and inclusion, understanding, and belonging. We'll also be introduced to the insights of Ms. Crystal Ibrahim, a professor, counselor, and co-coordinator of our Umoja program. Ms. Ibrahim's dedication to student success and her leadership within the Umoja community exemplify the transformative impact of focused support and empowerment. In your packets provided by Ms. Patty McClure, you find detailed information about our Black History Month celebrations. These initiatives are crucial steps towards weaving equity and inclusivity into the fabric of our campus life. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the board, Dr. Saleh, Ms. McClure, Ms. Cook, and all who contribute to making AVC a beacon of opportunity and equity. Your support empowers us to continue breaking down barriers and elevating the student experience. So at this time, if I can turn it to Ms. Tiffany Sasueta.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having us here tonight. So I'll be discussing our Black History Month. We have organized a variety of events to commemorate Black History Month. We reached out to our amazing faculty and staff, inviting them to facilitate and host either an activity or discussion for students. Prior to scheduling these events, I met with students at the Umoja Village and just to gather some ideas and feedback on what they would like to see throughout the month. With this valuable feedback, my colleagues and I were able to create a diverse calendar that was catered and to everyone's interest. As you can see in the calendar that was provided to you tonight, we had some of our amazing faculty and staff already participate in a few events. We had the last two events, we had two of our amazing Umoja counselors. On Wednesday, we had Ms. Crystal, who presented on historical Black colleges and universities, providing students with insight on the history of HBCUs and admission requirements. On Thursday, we had Ms. Tawana, who taught a workshop on the history of breathwork, and she also ran a workshop on breathing. We have a few other events coming up with Ms. Amanka teaching students, my apologies, I'm also nervous, students African dancing, as well as an inkwell coming up this on the 14th with Ms. Christine. And we have a poetry slam that will allow students to express themselves on what it is while sharing their Black experience and what it is to be an African American student here in AVC and just their overall experience. And then to end, close off our Black History Month, we have a end of the month celebration that will be on Thursday, the 29th. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Crystal Ibrahim. I'm a counselor here at AVC, and I'm also one of your AVC Community Umoja co-coordinators. As my colleagues already mentioned, Umoja is a Kiswahili word that means unity. The program itself is statewide and actually also into Washington State as well now. And our Umoja community here at AVC is about a little more than 10 years old. My understanding is the first iteration of Umoja came to our school in 2012. So been here for a while. I help run the program with my esteemed co-coordinator, Professor VJ Jennings, and of course with our awesome equity team. And you could see on the slide in front of you, we have several Umoja counselors listed on there. I'll be talking about them as well. They're all fantastic. So we wanted to give you kind of Umoja at a glance. Since August 1st, 2023, we've onboarded, actually that number is now 218 students since I made these slides. In fall of 2023, we offered 3 Umojified courses. Umojified courses are courses that are taught by faculty who have been to the Umoja Summer Learning Institute, which is hosted by the Umoja Central Office in California, where Umoja programs from all across California and Washington State now come together to share best practices and to get training on how to best serve our Umoja students at our respective campuses. So like I said, in fall, we offered 3 courses that were taught by faculty who have that Summer Learning Institute training. This current semester, we're offering 4 Umojified courses. And next fall, we will be offering 9 Umojified courses. We're very excited about that. Those courses span multiple disciplines where we're trying to offer Umojified courses amongst all of the IGETC general education areas. On this next slide, sorry, I am also nervous. In addition to the Umojified courses that I mentioned and the counselors that I mentioned, other supports that AVC Umoja students receive include access to regular Umoja on-campus events. Tiffany mentioned a couple of them already. Inkwell is our writing workshop, which happens monthly. Also, we have porch talks that occur monthly, where we help foster conversations that grow a sense of connectedness for our AVC Umoja students. Oh, look, I took notes on this. Let's refer to those. We have 7 Umoja counselors. 7 of those counselors are available by appointment, and then 2 of us also offer walk-in Umoja counseling that's exclusive to Umoja students. Only Umoja students can use those walk-in hours, and they use them. Let's see. Umoja students who meet the Umoja requirements, which is that they need to see an Umoja counselor once a semester, and they need to attend 2 of the Umoja events that I mentioned a moment ago, get priority registration for being part of our Umoja program to help them have early access to the class schedule so that they can hopefully build the schedule that suits their needs best. Also, we have a space that's specific for Umoja students called the Umoja Village. I'll be showing you some pictures of that later, or maybe not so much later, but in a moment. Also, Umoja students have access to our Umoja off-campus trips. So you could see on the picture that's on the bottom, this is actually one of our Umoja students. He was DJing one of our events, the Umoja 19 conference. So that was a statewide conference. We had Umoja programs from all over the state there, and they offered one of our Umoja students the opportunity to DJ. He was amazing. That's DJ Ant, y'all, if you are taking notes. We also will be offering an HBCU tour in March, and several of our Umoja students will be participating in that. They're really excited. And I forgot to say, the picture on top is actually a picture of one of our Inkwell events from last semester. Here is our Umoja Village. So our Umoja Village is in the hub, and you can see it is packed. Our students love seeking community. They want to feel like they belong. And if these images are any indication, I think they do. Thank you so much, and we would love to take your questions.
I do have one question about how many students are participating in your HBCU tours.
You know what? I was looking at this today, and it escapes me. Oh, it's 35, right?
Oh, that's
35.
That's really awesome. I'm an HBCU graduate, and being here on the West Coast, I've noticed that students just working in education, they really don't know a lot about HBCUs, and I think there's so much more information that needs to be shared. One example is West Virginia State University, 70% Caucasian. There are all kinds of HBCUs. Another thing that was brought to my attention is that Bennett College in Greensboro, North Carolina, has a Dreamer Scholarship every year and a hard time giving it away. And being here, I'm like, we need to connect people so that they can have these experiences. So I'm really proud of the work that you all are doing. Thank you so much for your presentation. Any other questions? Okay, thank you all so much. We're to 13.1, the approval of the consent agenda. But I'm going to move to unanimously approve the consent agenda items except for one change under item 13.4, the appointment of administrators, faculty, and classified personnel, specifically the removal of the appointment of an interim Dean of Language and Communication Arts from consideration and approval under this item. Can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Ford, do you wish to still comment? Because I want to make sure you have that opportunity.
I don't know if it'll make a difference now that you've approved it. Oh, all right.
For clarity, Ms. Ford, the motion was to remove that item, and that was why she was asking if you still wish to comment on it, because the item on which you wish to speak is being removed from the consent
So
agenda.
you're moving the entire,
Just the one item?
well, that's not the one I'm speaking of.
Okay, no problem. Just wanted to be clear so that you understood the situation.
Yeah, no, I'm not speaking on that one. Well, good evening, everyone. It's been a while. I am speaking to you on 13.4 personnel schedule on page 10. And it has to do with out of class pay, but I'm not going to address the employee in question for privacy reasons. But I would ask that HR or the president share that information with you later. But I'm asking that you not vote on that one yet, because there's been an ongoing concern for a while with HR, which predates the current HR VP. And there's an issue with errors taking place as far as compensation. And so there are times, and I'm not looking for perfection, I'm looking for parity. And there are times when there are errors that take place in terms of compensation, and employees are required to pay the money back. So the situation in question is there was an employee that was approved to work out of class. However, the out of class range was higher than it should have been. And so for the position that they were supposed to be working out of class in. And so I've been kind of corresponding back and forth with HR. And so I was told, well, I was sent an email by HR that whenever AP 7130, whenever it is determined that an error has been made in the calculation of a classified salary, the board shall within 5 workdays following the discovery of the error provide the employee with the statement of correction and supplemental payment be withdrawn. And also included was the Article 13.3, which this is what makes it real interesting, is that the range, and I mistakenly thought the range was decided by the supervisor, but the range is not assigned by the supervisor or the employee. So here's my concern, because this is going on for so long. I do believe that it is unfair for employees to have to pay back compensation that they did not decide on, that the supervisor didn't give the information, and that it's decided, I guess, somewhere else. I don't really know. But I'm concerned because this is an ongoing issue and it creates an undue hardship for classified employees. And well, my interest is in resolving issues on campus in-house. I was hoping with this new administration that we could do that instead of going outside. But this is a serious issue to me. If an employee didn't initiate or create the error, and I understand there's ed code language, there's also the collective bargaining agreement. So I think we need to sit down and discuss this and find a remedy so that when situations like this occur, there's a way to resolve it without creating undue hardship, because really, why should we pay for errors that we didn't create? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. I've made a motion. It's been second by Mr. Adams. Discussion.
Madam President, I guess maybe my question is for Dr. Zeller. Typically, if you could just kind of update me a little bit about when our employees do work out of class, and I know it's probably a little more common than we could imagine maybe. Do we have a specific protocol or procedure where we would automatically take them to step and column for that new position where they are working out of class for that temporary assignment? Or it sounds like in that someone out from the outside just decides where or how they're going to pay them?
So I will invite VP Ilan Helsberg to come and comment, but while she's approaching the podium, I will say each classification has a range, and within HR, there's a process by which those things are assigned. In conversation with Ms. Ford, it was acknowledged that there was an error, and that is not something that the district is denying. This is an exception. There haven't been, since I've been here, many of these. This may be the only one that's come to my attention. And so I wouldn't want the board, in hearing her say this is an ongoing issue, to think that this is something that happens on the regular basis. VP Helsberg, would you please explain the process?
Yeah. So out of class is assigned by one's current supervisor. Compensation is in accordance with the CBA at at most 5% of what you're currently making. And it also, we take into consideration the range, the classification that you're going into as well. So based on how that classification is graded, and it has been graded by the classified classification committee. And so that is a committee made up of primarily classified employees, as well as there is a CMSA rep on that committee, and myself or a designee.
Thank you.
To also, just to answer part of what I think you were asking, the crux of the matter is, yes, there was an error made, but if we were to just shake hands and part ways, then the district has gifted public funds, and therein lies the rub. And so we acknowledge the error, we are not interested in undue hardship on our employees, but we have to figure this out.
Thank you so much. So this is a motion and a second for the consent agenda. We've had discussion. Eddie, can we call for the vote?
I approve.
Trustee Gaines,
I approve.
Trustee Reeves,
Approve.
Buffalo, Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes. All right, so we're on to our action items. 4.1, approval of the contract reopener proposal from the Antelope Valley Community College District, AVCCD, to the Antelope Valley Federation of Classified Employees, AVCFCE, for negotiations during spring of 24. May I have a motion?
Second.
Discussion? The vote?
I approve.
Approve.
Trustee Reeves, Trustee Buffalo, Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
4.2, approval of contract reopener proposal from the Antelope Valley Community College District, ABCCD, to the Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers, AVCFT, for negotiations during spring of 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call for the vote?
Trustee Rivera,
Approve.
Trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Buffalo, Trustee Adams. Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
14.3, approval of audits and financials, 22-23 district audit, Measure AV financial statements, Measure AV performance audit, and OPEB. May I have a motion?
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, sir. Here's the audit.
Mr.
audit
Reeves, speak into your microphone so
Yeah.
that everyone can hear.
Okay. Before I approve anything, so I'm going to vote no.
The vote?
Approve.
Approve.
No.
Yes.
Yes. 14.4, approval of academic policies and procedures, APNP committee's recommendation of course listing for fall 2024. May I have a motion?
Second.
Discussion? The vote?
I approve.
Approve.
Aye.
Yes. 14.5, approval of the non-resident and capital outlay fee rates for 24-25. May I have a motion? Discussion? The vote, Patty?
Approve.
Approve.
Yes. 14.6, approval of McGraw-Hill Professional Institutional Subscription Agreement for students enrolled in Radiologic Technology Program from December 31st. I believe that this should be 2023 through December 30th, 2024. May I have a motion? Discussion?
Yes. So it says December 31st. Does that mean people are already using it?
That's a great question. Yes, it has already passed, so we must be in it. Is this a renewal?
It's current textbooks for this year, this semester.
Right.
And
So,
to the
so it's a renewal of text material that happens in.
So we have used this McGraw-Hill before?
I believe we have, this is the textbook for the students in the RAD Tech program. And these subscriptions go to the online and they go to the students through Books Help and things like that. But these are for those specific courses.
And Dr. Zealot, the folks who are in charge of the radiological program have looked at this curriculum. It is in line with all state requirements as should be. And so we are good to go. Radiology, we buy the books. So what do you say, board? Could we call for the vote, Patty?
I approve.
Approve.
Aye.
Adam.
Yes. 14.7, approval of affiliation agreement between Young J. KOMD Ahmed Corp. And Antelope Valley College from February 1st of 2024 through January 31st of 2026 for clinical experience for the medical office assisting program. Discussion?
Yes.
Mhm.
We have these interns, medical.
So these are clinicals, they're not internships. And the supervisors of these clinical experiences are our own faculty.
Thank you.
May I have a motion?
So move.
Discussion? Call for the vote?
Approve.
Approve.
Aye.
Yes. 14.8, approval of renewal of agreement with Ready Education, Inc. for a mobile platform as part of COVID contact tracing with HERF funds and COVID recovery block grant fund. May I have a motion?
Second.
Discussion? We'll call for the vote.
Approve.
Approve.
Yes. 14.9, approval of Citizens Bond oversight for Measure AV membership appointment. May I have a motion?
So move.
Discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Reed.
Into your microphone.
Yeah, on the oversight committee, who picks the members of the committee that the board approves? How are they selected?
It's through the committee itself, we cultivate suggestions for membership, also the vice president and myself, and then we bring it to the board.
Okay, thank you.
Record the vote, Patty.
Approve.
Approve.
Aye.
Yes. 14.10, approval of contract amendment with Schlett Associates, Inc., DBA Public Safety and Economic Growth, PubSec, for COVID contact tracing with COVID recovery block grant funds. May I have a motion? Discussion? The vote?
Approve.
Approve.
Aye. Yes.
Yes. 14.10, approval of contract amendment. Oh, I'm sorry. We're at 14.11 and we have a public comment. AV.
Dr. Bowen, is this your public comment card?
Someone asked me Friday or made a comment that they get so nervous talking to the board. And I told them last week that I'm always terribly nervous for addressing the board. They didn't believe it. just said to them that I keep it all inside. In any continuing, so we have here the approval of or hiring another law firm for Title IX investigations, whereas at the board meeting in January, there was the approval to hire, Adams, Dirk, and Kamenstein to investigate Title IX, complaints and other matters. I'm not claiming that it's inappropriate to hire a law firm or a third party to participate in Title IX investigations or to conduct them because there are situations where there's a perceived conflict of interest. So this may be appropriate, but it's just, to see this come up over and over, do we need a third party law firm for every Title IX complaint? I don't understand why the need, but that's not necessarily what I want to address. When I see this, I'm reminded that we live currently as employees, I'll go so far as to say, in a very punitive environment. And I always believe that it's healthy to be in an environment where everyone wants to resolve matters at the lowest level. Now, regarding Title IX is fairly complicated as a piece of legislation, but it does allow for informal resolutions between parties. So that is an option. And I would simply like to see our home, take advantage of resolving matters amongst ourselves when it's possible. And then I think that will trickle down and contribute to just an enhanced educational environment for everyone, which is what we're here to do. Thank you.
Yes, and just as an informational item, I think it's important to say that the district does not initiate Title IX cases. So may I have a motion?
So moved.
Discussion?
Yes. I looked up this 14.11 supplemental that's available to the board. It listed a contract signed in 2023, already signed by the president and other parties. Are we renewing the contract, or are we approving a contract for 23?
Are you speaking of 14.11, that agreement? Yes? No, it's come to the board for approval. The initial contact was back in 2023, but it's just coming to the board for approval now. When we have a Title IX matter,
Well, we never approved it before.
no.
So it was signed in 23, and now in 24 it comes to the board.
I'm sorry, Mr. Reeves, where do you see that?
But you can pull it up on the computer. You'll see that.
I have it pulled up on the computer. Can you just direct me to the page, sir? That you're referring to?
I don't have a copy to show you, but if you pull it up on the computer, when you look at the agenda and the supplemental, you see the copy of the contract signed in 23 by the president, the other party. So we're approving the contract already signed in 23. It should be a new contract.
So the president has not signed this. The firm signed it and sent it. That's the standard practice. They'll sign it and send it. I'm looking at page 3 of 7 of the attachment, and it has the president's name, but no signature.
Correct. And it was
Yeah.
With the agenda?
Yeah, that's right. It is. They signed it on October 31st, 2023.
And then we had to do, they had a proposal. And there are certain things that we require as a district that had to go through business services. And so until that was agreed upon, which was signed on January 30th, I believe. Double check here. January 30th, and today is February 12th. So this is the first board meeting since it was signed off on by the firm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. That's a reasonable question. And also, Ms. Cook, I think at some point we should discuss um, how these types of things work. Because those of us in education, I think we have kind of a clear idea, but some of us may not come from an education background. So being able to explain those.
In terms of the processing of the contract or the Title IX?
Maybe.
Both? Okay.
Yeah. But,
Sure.
thank you. Yeah. Patty, could we call for the vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We are approval of amendment 14.12, I'm sorry. Approval of amendment number 5 to extend the agreement with Subway Real Estate LLC through December 13, 2029 for section 1, lease renewal of the contract lease. May I have a motion?
Move.
Discussion?
Yes. I wonder if we could look into getting Starbucks on campus. Anybody think about that?
Any further discussion?
Starbucks section on campus.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
we'll call for the vote.
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee
Aye.
Buffalo, trustee Adams, trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
14.3, approval to ratify amendment number 1, AVC Industries LLC for the Performing Arts Theater Refresh formal bid RFB number AVC 2022-23-12A. May I have a motion?
Second.
Discussion? The vote, Pat?
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Aye.
Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion
14.14, approval of final notice of completion and resolution of acceptance on the Katy Lab project. Number 21-015 for the Nazarian Group with strong workforce funds. May I have a motion?
Aye.
Discussion? Call for the vote.
Student trustee Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Aye.
trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
14.6 is being pulled. 14.7. Do we want to discuss? Oh, 15, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to read and talk. Please excuse me. Okay, so 14.15. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let me clarify. 14.16 is not being pulled. It is 14.15 that is. No need to apologize. 14.16, approval to purchase IT network equipment and software licenses from Any Systems, Inc. for Cedar Hall Building with Measure AV funds.
So
May I-
move.
Discussion?
Yes, Madam President. Consolidate 14.16, 17, 18, 19.
Well, Mr. Reeves, thank you so much. I think we should do that just as you've suggested.
Thank you.
So board, if it's okay with you, we're going to consolidate 16 through 19. So may I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second? Discussion? All those?
Student
Go
trustee
ahead.
Rivera,
Approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Aye.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We are to 16, reports and announcement. Mr. Huntsman, Academic Senate.
Good evening, trustees, President Zalet, Ms. Cook, Ms. McClure. For the last approximately 2.5 weeks, the faculty have been very concerned over the proposed reorganization plan in the administration. And before I make a couple of comments regarding that, I do want to remind you that even though we've been very concerned with it, most of our time is spent teaching and supporting our students as it should be. And one of the reasons that I need to comment on the reorganization is because it affects us in our work in supporting our students and teaching our students. First of all, I do want to thank President Zealot for communicating to us about it and for listening. I do feel, and I've heard from several faculty members, that they felt like she's really listening to them in terms of their comments and responses and feedback on the plan. So we thank you for that. Most of the feedback that I'm getting from my colleagues is really concerning more of the student services side and also regarding the proposed vice president of, I'm going to forget the whole title. I'm just going to say vice president of equity because that'll be the easy one. And there's both positive and not as positive feedback regarding all these things, some of which you've already heard. And I know that lots of my colleagues are participating in the survey and also giving commentary in other ways. For me right now, I don't think I need to give more specific because there's not enough time to really do that. But I do want to emphasize the need for the continued communication. What really makes people, let's say, worried is when things are going to change and really affect them and their ability to serve our students, and they don't have control or have any say, or they get confused and worried. And so that continued communication over time is really what's going to make the difference here. And we're going to, I know, see another proposal or a revised proposal soon. And I hope that the administration and the board will continue to listen to the feedback that we're giving and that some changes happen, because I think good ideas come from all kinds of places. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. The AVC Federation of Teachers, Dr. Jason Bowen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, the board. I'd like to comment on the reorganization. I do want to say that, there are aspects to the reorganization that I'm genuinely excited about. I think that and I made this comment to President Zalet at a CCC meeting, that the proposal of a vice president of equity, I did not see that coming, and that excited me. I still have questions, but there's aspects to it that are genuinely exciting. However, I also have concerns, and what I would like to do now is state my concerns. Firstly, the deviation from past practices of soliciting constituent input through college leadership to a direct feedback model from employees to the president's office raises significant concerns. The shift not only undermines the transparency of the feedback process, but also questions its validity. Without a mechanism for the unions to verify the authenticity and anonymity of the feedback received, we're left in the dark, questioning the integrity of the data that is shaping this reorganization. Another concern, the renaming of human resources and employee relations to people, culture, and talent acquisition. This symbolizes a concerning shift towards a weird corporate ethos that might not align with the values and objectives of our public educational institution. It is essential to remember that we are a community of educators and learners, not merely a corporate entity driven by branding and optics. Additionally, the restructuring of roles such as the Director of Risk Management and introduction of the Director of Benefits and Risk Management, alongside the salary adjustments for the newly titled Director of Human Resources, raise questions about equity, transparency, and the actual necessity of these changes. These modifications suggest a preferential treatment and a lack of comprehensive planning in addressing the institution's needs. As we stand at the crossroads of change, I urge that the board Consider whether the proposed reorganization with its name changes and restructuring truly serves the best interests of our academic community. The essence of our institution lies not in titles or branding, but in our collective ability to educate, inspire, and nurture our students. It is crucial that any reorganization not only respects the procedural traditions that have served us well, but also genuinely enhances our capacity to fulfill our mission. In conclusion, I ask that we ensure that any change we embrace is not just in name, but in substance, and walking the walk, reflecting our commitment to excellence in education and our community's well-being. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you. Antelope Valley College Federation of Classified Employees, and Ford.
Before I begin, can I get clarification on, what was it, for the personnel schedule that I spoke on? Did you all vote 13.4 in favor of employees paying back compensation even though the error wasn't theirs? Was that approved?
The consent agenda was adopted.
So that was approved. Okay, thank you. I agree with what Dr. Bowen said about the way that the reorganization was rolled out, and we didn't get an opportunity to get the feedback that we should have from our members. And I was reminded recently that this same action occurred under the past president when moving from district administrators to the hiring of legal counsel to serve as the district's negotiation team. The president called union officers to his office, and while we were in the meeting, he had his admin assistant send out the notification to the groups. When we left, we were blindsided because we were met by members asking what the email was all about, and we didn't have any idea. This time we did know because it was briefly mentioned in CCC. So his rushed play trick, though, didn't serve any good purpose because we ended up going to impasse during that negotiation session. So I also am concerned about the rollout because I feel that, or I'm just going to ask this question, couldn't human treasure have been a part of this rollout? Because it was extremely disheartening to see the look on directors' faces when initially seeing this reorg and seeing that their jobs may be in jeopardy. And classified and faculty not being included was a concern. And the reason why is because anytime there's a change in leadership, by attrition, it's going to impact those who work under those supervisors. I also would like to know why there's such a rush for the implementation of this reorganization. But mostly, above and beyond everything else, our students. Most of these changes have a direct impact on the students who need services of categorical programs, equity, and student conduct, all of which can have serious impacts on the success of our students. I thought our goal was to enhance services to bring more students to our campus. But if we're going to cut away the programs that are at the very fiber of serving our most neediest and economically disadvantaged students, is this the wisest course of action? They are already impacted over the overcoursing with the inequities in Edge and Nav. How many more obstacles are we going to place in front of our students and then continue to ask why students are selecting other campuses while we are pursuing 11.4 in 24? Instead of trying to figure out how to keep Edge and Nav, maybe an idea would be to try to find a better system. And I'm going to ask each of you that you not editorialize your comments concerning about what I have said until you've had sufficient time to review all documentation submitted concerning the reorg by all groups, including the unions, and allowing yourselves time to provide consideration to any concerns that were presented. Thank you.
16.4 confidential management supervisory administrator employees. Ashley Hawkins.
Good evening. I wanted to mention something, although I am going to mention the reorg, I want to mention something different first. The information came out from Equity today to invite leadership to participate in the Equity Minded Teaching Institute specifically for leadership. So we just wanted as a group to say thank you for providing some training for the leaders and give us the tools in order to be more effective. And as far as the reorg goes, the group wanted me to extend our thanks to President Zealot for calling a meeting with the group directly the day that the reorg came out and giving them the opportunity to have some dialogue directly with you, as well as the conversations that followed that, the willingness to discuss the changes. And I've been witness to you a couple of times say, you know what, you're right, that might not fit there, or those people were right when they brought that to me. And so the fact that there's some flexibility and conversation around it has made it a much more palatable idea. And while not saying it's perfect, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more uphill for us to go, it's good to feel like we are moving together. Thank you.
The ASO, Steve Benitez.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. At the moment, ASO met last Friday discussing process of adding new clubs and meeting regularly for the Marauders Matter March 1st Leadership Conference. We moved the date because we felt that we needed to reorganize a few things. And speaking of reorganization, I talked to my advisor, Dr. Z, and I had, my fears there and then some doubts here and there. But like she reaffirmed that it wouldn't put a weight on us when we're doing ASO. So my fears were relieved at that. Still continue on getting feedback, but on the moment, ASO is doing a scavenger hunt where we're doing with these sweethearts, and I believe we have a flyer up there. And it has a few things about leadership, and we're just showing students how much we appreciate them just helping us out and giving us feedback when we're doing these events, because one of our surveys that we put out during our club rush stated that students want to see more events and they want to see more interaction, communications, and doing these sweethearts. Student finds one, they get a $10 gift card. So we have 100 of these out in the school, from Uhazy to Sage Hall to ME building and a few other buildings I'm trying to remember. We scatter them thoroughly out, so they should be visible. But and we have a process and where we're doing that. We make sure they're a student, check their ID, they'll go to the hub and make sure our officers are there during the hours to give a gift card. So that is only until February the 13th. But at the moment, ASO is just gearing up for March, because later March we have a Washington, D.C. trip that we're going to go and learn about advocacy and leadership. So that's all I have to report at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Antelope Valley College Foundation, Diane.
So I've got always great news. Scholarships are closed. We're now in the process of reviewing scholarships, which is the best time of the year. You get to really connect with what the students are looking for, the donors that we have. So anyone here that has an interest in reading scholarships, please let me know. We'll be glad to set you up. It's also the great time of year to be planning for 2 events. As a result of having the scholarships, we do our annual meet and greet April 17th in the morning for breakfast. We match donors with the scholarship recipients. So y'all will all be invited. It's going to be a great event. We usually get about 300 or so attendees. And then last but not least, the wine walk is off and running. We've already sold quite a few tickets already. So that is the last Saturday in April. It's not just wine, it's beer and non-alcoholic, along with food and other music and things going on. So please buy your tickets soon. We do have a cap and limit. So appreciate you guys get the word out and come as well. Love to see you. Any questions? No margaritas still, sorry. That's hard liquor, can't go there. But thank you. Any comments, questions? Great, thank you.
Thank you so much. Office of the Superintendent President, Dr. Zalat.
Thank you. Good evening, trustees and student trustees. And for those who may be watching the live stream, we apologize that we exceeded the time that our interpreters could be with us. And so hopefully the closed captions will suffice for the remainder of the meeting. As the tradition of Valentine's Day approaches, I wish all of you as trustees and all of our AVC community a happy day full of love and friendship. While we are only in the second month of the year, we are beginning the 6th week of spring 2024 semester, and together we're celebrating Black History Month. I want to point out in your packet, while you had been given an overview during the Umoja presentation, you have a calendar page in your packet that shows all of the events on campus. We hope that you can join our students and all of us to attend as many events as possible. In January, the athletics department resurrected and hosted the Athletics Hall of Fame Gala, welcoming community members, retirees, and employees to celebrate 10 inductees. The evening was full of enjoyment, celebration, reunions with friends, and proof that the president does indeed have a husband. So through the presentation this evening, actually it didn't happen this evening. Next month, you'll see a presentation celebrating one of our student athletes and the incredible success and honors that she's receiving. So we'll celebrate that next month with Cammie, but we do not have and will not have any shortage of phenomenal athletes for future halls of fame. I appreciate all the comments that came to the board tonight around the proposed administrative reorganization, and I want to remind the board that we are in the middle of the process. The process is not complete. We are not done communicating. In fact, I have been still in communications all day long. And as a year and a half in to the service here at Antelope Valley College, I'm aware that the information that I'm bound to go by is what's in board policy and procedure. And I want to challenge the campus when we say that you're not adhering to past practice. When we focus on the past, we're not looking to the future. So I want to challenge people to think differently. If we want it to be a binding process, put it in the board policy and procedure. Habits of work are habits of work. And that's different than binding procedures that the college agrees on, that anyone can look up and follow. I reassure you, I am following board policy and procedure. I reassure you, there is every avenue for anyone who wants to have conversation to have it. I look forward to any more feedback that comes my way. And I can't underscore enough. Point of view is everything, because actually I'm heartened by this process. I'm heartened by the number of conversations that I've had individually with people in their offices, in small groups of people from across a wide variety of working groups across campus, and very large groups of people. You're right, it's not a perfect plan, which is one of the reasons that this process is so essential for us to walk through together. Change is uncomfortable, right? Everybody in the beginning of the new year, we say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. You don't do that by staying comfortable. You hit the gym, you flex your muscles, right? You lift the weights, and that hurts. But it's healthy change. I would ask us to think about this as we look ahead to the challenges that are coming our way. If we don't change now, if we don't embrace go to the gym again. We don't embrace the pain. We don't make it work for us. It will happen to us. And it won't be in our control as much as it is right now. I want to underscore, even with amendments that are in process, that have been made in collegial consultation and in response to feedback from our constituent groups, we are still 4 positions net negative in administration. We are still over $660,000 annually ongoing cost savings in preparation for tight times that are inevitably to come ahead, with the full intention, starting at the top, that we keep as much of our dollars as close to the students as possible. Understand, this is not change for the sake of change. This is change in preparation to ensure that existing employees at Antelope Valley College are cared for and that our students have excellent educational opportunities. In honor of Black History Month, I say this is how we at Antelope Valley College, John Lewis would say, cause some good trouble. Let's shake it up. Let's think differently. Let's work together. I'd like to close with a special word of thanks to an African-American hero. Last week, a very cherished and close relative of mine had to undergo emergency open heart surgery. It was a dire situation, and without that procedure, I would likely be missing a relative that I cherish. As I contemplated the blessings of modern medicine, I want to thank the person who pioneered open heart surgery. If you weren't aware, the first surgeon to successfully perform this procedure was Dr. Daniel Hill Williams. Dr. Daniel Hill Williams has an inspiring story. He was born in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania on January 18, 1856. He was the oldest son of 8 children. Around the age of 10, his father died of tuberculosis. The family moved to Baltimore, Maryland to live with relatives. Daniel became a shoemaker's apprentice. He disliked the work and returned to his family barbering business. Ultimately, Daniel decided to pursue his education. He worked as an apprentice with Dr. Henry Palmer, who was considered a highly accomplished surgeon. Daniel graduated with an MD degree in 1883 from Chicago Medical College. Dr. Williams practiced medicine in Chicago at a time when there were only 3 other Black physicians in Chicago. He also worked with the Equal Rights League, a Black civil rights organization active during the Reconstruction era. Considered a thoughtful and skilled surgeon, Dr. Williams' practice grew as he treated both Black and white patients. In 1889, he was appointed to the Illinois State Board of Health, now known as the Illinois Department of Public Health, and he worked with medical standards and hospital rules. Dr. Williams practiced during an era when racism and discrimination prohibited African Americans from being admitted to hospitals and denied Black doctors employment on hospital staff. To counteract this practice, Dr. Williams founded the Provident Hospital and Training School for Nurses, now called Provident Hospital of Cook County in Chicago. This emerged as the first hospital in the country with a nursing and intern program that hired African Americans. This hospital has the distinction of being the first medical facility to have an interracial staff. In 1893, Dr. Williams became the first surgeon to perform open heart surgery on a human. Dr. Williams performed the nation's first open heart surgery at the Provident Hospital in the summer of 1893. The operation was done without x-rays, antibiotics, surgical prep work, or tools of modern surgery. Dr. Williams' skill placed him in Provident Hospital at the forefront of one of Chicago's medical milestones. His patient, James Cornish, survived and was discharged 51 days after his remarkable surgery. I encourage you to look up his story. It's phenomenal. What I have to say is from 2024, I thank you, Dr. Hill Williams. We celebrate and acknowledge that African-American history is American history. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. We're now to board member comments. Our student.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to reiterate that happy Black History Month. I hope you guys are able to celebrate with the many events that Umoja has set up. And this is a wonderful way to celebrate this month. And so grateful that we have an extra day for Black History Month this year. And I also wanted to commend the students that came and had the courage to speak up. We all appreciate those who are able to speak their mind and free from whatever they may be, whatever they may fear, and they were able to speak for what they thought was right. And I really commend them. So thank you and have a good night.
Trustee Gaines?
I really don't have anything this evening. Thank you.
Trustee Reeves?
Yes, I want to thank our vice presidents for attending the meeting. I felt like old times when we had the VPs here. Thank you very much, all of you.
Trustee Buffalo?
Well, I think we had a great turnout. We sold out for the gala, Hall of Fame. The athletes and certainly everybody in attendance really appreciated the event. It was a very, very high point for Antelope Valley College. And I think that was a really cool moment. And if you'd have seen the athletes and their acceptance and the fact that they were so excited and so appreciative of the honor, that was amazing. I would like to mention a couple of things. Dr. Bowen, I don't buy it one bit. You don't look nervous to me. But I would like to say sometimes people come up here and they say things and they talk about some things. The reorg, for example. The board really isn't into the reorg. We haven't been briefed on it really yet. We are aware it's happening. The idea is to get a lot of staff input. So talking to us about the reorg really isn't real meaningful because we're not even sure sometimes what you're even talking about at this point. We will be informed of it a little bit later on, but I would think talk to the people here at the college that you work with, consult with them, work with them, and try to resolve it and work it out because we're kind of like the folks at the end of the line. And that's kind of how it plays out here. So thank you. That's it.
Trustee Adams?
Those of you looking for wine walk tickets, I am selling wine walk tickets. And if you go to michael.adams@avc.edu, I will guarantee you get wine walk tickets. And if you buy from me and not Dr. Zillette, I will give you my top 5 recommendations for the wine walk.
Thank you so much. But you know, women on the board have to stick together. I know Barbara is selling tickets. And Trustee Gaines, do not give away my 2. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say I too am very proud of the students who came and spoke up tonight. It takes a lot when you don't know what the outcome of something is going to be to have that much courage when you're young. And I was really proud. The second thing was to see what's happening with Umoja here on the campus and the celebration of Black History Month. Dr. Zillette, more than you know, I agree that Black history is American history. So that's a really good thing, and I'm glad that we are celebrating. And we are looking forward to seeing everyone in March. And with that, this meeting is convened. Thank you.
But they will. Valentine's Day. You will.
your pen. Happy Valentine's. You're welcome. Want another one? Or you good? Okay. I just almost did that. Thanks. Thanks, guys, for hanging in there. Good job.